everyone knows how we roll on a Tuesday on NHL Now.
Even when it's a Wednesday, sometimes it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, listen, it's whatever I say it is.
I know.
I've
learned.
The boys from Missing Curfew, Scottie Upshall and Shane O'Brien.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I want to start with this. Well, first of all, I guess, how you doing?
Yeah.
We're doing great over here.
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Come on, these guys are always doing good. They're out there in California enjoying life.
Listen, there's no hangover that they can't get through.
No,
that's what I know. All right, we're going to start with a little sound off the top, boys, because a few weeks ago, Daryl Sutter, this is rare, this never happens, he said something that was inaccurate.
The wild card, and I've said 100 times, the wild card will not. It'll have to be team fall off the face of the earth for a wild card to come out of this division. And if you are a wild card team, I sure as hell don't want to play Colorado in the first round because it's going to be a waste of 8 days.
I said it was factually incorrect because it was 7 days.
7 days.
7 days that the Predators lasted. But the Colorado Avalanche sweep the Preds. They're off to the second round. Are they your favorite still? I believe they were your favorite in the beginning.
Yeah, they still are my favorite, Jackie. I got to say, Daryl's looking pretty jacked there with the little D that he's got going on there. That's a nice touch, Daryl. Good farm boy.
Yeah.
Listen, I feel bad for Nashville, Jackie. I don't think it would have been – I don't think they could have beat Colorado, but with Saros in between the pipes, me and Uppy both played in Nashville. We love the city. We love the fan base. So I feel a little bit sorry for them. Still a great season for Nashville, but the Avalanche, they are absolutely humming.
Yeah, they really are. And I think it's just, to the NHL, having Nashville fans and having Nashville in the playoffs is just such a great thing for our game. But they ran into a buzzsaw. The Cale Makar, the McKinnon story here, they just were, they're too good. They were too good. And unfortunately, they're going to hit the golf course a little early this year.
Yeah, yes, they are. What are you guys doing with Philip Forsberg? All right, you're the Nashville guys. What happens?
To me, he was great all year. There were rumblings that they were going to move him earlier on in the season. He's a great player. He's very dynamic. The stuff he does with the puck on his stick is world class. I think he's a Nashville Predator. I'd like to see number 9 stay in Nashville, but again, this is a business. He might want to test the market and leave. Time will tell.
Yeah, EJ, this is a tough one because he did a little victory lap last night, or what do you want to call it? Like he did an extra lap when the boys were going off the ice. So, listen, Dave Poile was in a tough situation. He rolled the dice, right? I think Forsberg wants to stay there. We know as ex-players that you don't get too many chances to be a UFA, and this guy's one of the best players on the planet. It'll be interesting to see what happens for Nashville. I hope he stays, but I could see him leaving town.
All right, well, let me ask you guys this. Obviously, the Colorado Avalanche are a favorite. They've been a favorite all season long for the most part. Who has a better shot against Colorado in round 2? The Wild or the Blues? Like, who do you think could give them a better go?
I got to go with my St. Louis Blues, Jackie. I'm bleeding blue right now. I think they're in one right now against the Wild. It's going to be a great game, 5-6, and I think it's going to go 7 games to determine this winner. But they need to get healthy. I think they need to get healthy, and they need to find that number 1 goalie to face off against these Avalanche next series if it's them, because the firepower, it's there, and you got to be able to find a way to tame it and find a way to win close games. And to me, it's the St. Louis Blues.
Jackie, I don't want to get you fired up because I know you're fired up because it's playoff time, but I'm going to answer neither of them, Jackie. Neither of them can beat the Colorado Avalanche.
That wasn't the question, Obi.
He can make up his own
answer. Are you hard of hearing?
I know.
Hey, Jackie, I'm just trying to get you after the whistle with a little scrum here, glove in the face. I'm trying to get
come on, turn up that hearing.
Don't try to face wash me on my show.
With that stinky glove.
I love Brian O'Reilly. I love what he's doing. I don't think either one of them can beat the Colorado Avalanche. Kemper dodged a bullet. The Avs are going to beat either one of them.
Well, you know what? I would tell you, because I will answer the question, unlike Obi, who, kind of took both sides, I guess. I would say Minnie. I disagree with Scottie just because I think Minnie has got it that we know what they are. They're hard. They're tough. They'll try to wear out the Avs physically. The Blues, this version of the Blues is really good. I really like their team, but it's more of a rush team now with all those great forwards they have. So for me, I think if you try to beat the Avs that way, you probably lose. So I think the fact that Minnesota will have a plan of being physical and they've got good goaltending, either guy can go in and play. So that's why I would say Minnie, but both of those teams are really good. So It should be a fun series.
First, they got to get through the first round.
That's right.
First,
I don't know if they'll get through the first round.
Which is going to be a grind, as we've already seen. All right, Penguins fans yesterday, they woke up and they chose violence because they were vicious last night to Igor Shesterkin. They were chanting, "We want Igor," after he was pulled. I mean, it never ended. It was tough. I actually felt bad for Shesty, I'm not going to lie. So I'll ask you guys this. Toughest building or toughest fans you've ever played in front of as the opposition?
Yeah, for me, Jackie, it's my 2 years in Vancouver when we played the Blackhawks. The old Madhouse on Madison was always rocking. They loved to chirp us. It was a great rivalry. Every time we go in there, the best national anthem in the world is at that arena. So you're all fired up. You get it going. But the Madhouse on Madison was my favorite.
I've been on the receiving end of the Pittsburgh Penguins beating us in the conference finals at the old Igloo, where EJ, they used to stuff you in that terrible room,
the smallest locker room I've ever seen in my life.
There's no training table there. There's rats running around. There's no hot packs or ice bags. So they made you feel uncomfortable. And the fans, they were great, what we saw last night. I also would say Montreal Canadiens. We did beat them in 5 when I was with the Philadelphia Flyers. But that barn up in Montreal, hockey is their royalty, and their fans are great in the playoffs.
Yeah, the old Igloo. I don't know how you guys got dressed in that place, because it was like going into the bus. Like, when you walk on a bus, it's like there's one aisle, and then there was lockers. I guess you could call them lockers on each side. It was just walk right through, and that was all the room you had, right?
Yeah, it was greasy. It was old school.
Yeah,
it was greasy. There's always cold beers, though, EJ, at the old Mellon Arena. There's always cold beers.
You'd know.
So would a lot of us, actually. Yeah.
Listen, I would too.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're on the topic of the Pittsburgh Penguins, my goodness, Sidney Crosby, I didn't think he could take it to another level. This guy is on another level. Absolute domination in this series against the New York Rangers. In your opinion, is Sidney Crosby still the best all-around player in the NHL?
He's sure playing like it. He's putting his years behind him here. He's playing like he's got legs full of youth. Their whole team, actually. But playoff time is when you need to step up and be the leader and the Hall of Fame player that you are. Sidney Crosby's showing just that. And his whole team, from Letang to Malkin to Carter, these guys who are, well into their 30s are playing like they're in their mid-20s and don't care about anyone else.
Yeah, you know what? He's going to cost me money again. I bet against them. Lupul's going to run my show. Loops has been chirping me for a week now about this team, and he's right. And, listen, Sid was voted by the NHLPA. They did a vote of the players. Who's the best all-around player right now? And the boys voted for Sid. So when you get that from your peers and the guys you compete against, he's the best 200-foot player going.
Yeah, and I would agree with you guys. I would just say, again, he puts in the work. He's very fit still for his age. He doesn't get beat in any foot races still at this point in time, which is a credit to him and the work he does away from the rink, because you got to work hard to continue to be at that level physically. And you add into the mix, guys, he's so smart, and he's so good at all the little details, stick work, all kinds of little things, body positioning, just terrific. So you add the smarts with the fact that he's still fit and still really capable to play at a high level. I think he's better now than he was 5-6 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
EJ, I was just going to say real quick, he played back when the playoffs were a little bit more, the way we liked it. Now he goes out there, he's like, wow, this is okay. Nobody touches me. I don't think I can do this. Plays. This is awesome.
I can do this any day of the week.
Well, listen, Gerard Gallant did say that his team was soft last night, so he definitely wasn't getting pushed around too much in game number 4. Anyways, but I think one of the more interesting things that Mike Sullivan said to me while I was in Pittsburgh was he told me to watch Sidney Crosby at the end of his shifts. And his point was that he makes a lot happen at the end of a shift because he's so physically fit, to your point, that a lot of guys in the league can't keep up with him. So by the end of the shift, he's worn them down so much, down low if he's in the O-zone, that they can't hang with him anymore, and then he makes something happen. So now I kind of watch him differently now. I wait for when he gets to the end of the shift to see if that rings true, and it does. All right, next question. In the East, so you can't pick Colorado. They're in the West, just in case anyone forgot. Okay. Most impressive playoff team in the Eastern Conference thus far would be?
I'm going to stay the Tampa Bay Lightning, how they've bounced back from a couple of their tough games. Vasilevsky proving that, he's the world's best goalie. His record after losing a playoff game speaks for itself. But just the way their team rallies, I think the playoffs, and Obi and I talked about it today, the playoffs are all about ups and downs. And good teams find a way to not let these bad games affect them and come out with a strong performance. These guys are the champs, and, they're going to be ready for a strong push here in the next couple of days.
For me, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know we just talked about Sid, and I bet against them. I took the Rangers in 7, and they're proving me wrong. Jeff Carter been unbelievable. The Tang's been unbelievable. I love veteran teams more than anyone, Jackie, and I still went with the Rangers. So I deserve losing money and getting chirped. But the Pittsburgh Penguins, I mean, without their number 1 goalie, without their number 2 goalie to be doing this, it's unbelievable. And I've been impressed with their play.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Obi, on that one because, again, you're into their 3rd goaltender now. They had to change goalies in the 2nd overtime of what would be a 3 overtime game in Game 1. They're also without Brian Dumoulin in the last couple of games, too. And he's somebody that's really important to that group. He usually plays with Letang, so it's forced Letang to have a different partner, put a little more pressure on their group as a bunch of defensemen. I've been really impressed. Midway through the season, guys, I thought the Pittsburgh Penguins were in that group of teams that could win the Cup. And then the last 2 months of the season, boy, they really fell off. They couldn't really beat any good teams. And so I kind of took them out of the mix. And like you, Obi, I was like, well, I think the Rangers will probably handle them. And they've kind of dialed it back to that team that I remember in January and February, and they've played very, very well. So I've been impressed.
It's crazy because I feel like with the swings in the series, and there's been a lot of them, I feel like at the beginning, the Rangers were the more confident team, and they've very slowly over the 4 games, their confidence has decreased.
Lost now.
While the Penguins' confidence has just period after period has grown and grown and grown, and it's just been the tale of 2 very different teams in that series. I would throw the Boston Bruins into the mix. It pains me, really, to say this. It really does. But the Boston Bruins climb out of a 2-0 hole against the Carolina Hurricanes without their top 2 defensemen. I mean, that's pretty impressive for me. So I'll throw the Boston Bruins into the mix there because I think that's, obviously Cassidy putting the perfection line back together was a good decision, as it often is. But I think the Boston Bruins were impressive in the 2 wins that they won to even that series up at 2 apiece as well. All right. One final question. We got 4 games tonight. Every single series that is in action tonight is tied at 2 games apiece. So I'll ask you this. Which team is under the most pressure to win their Game 5 tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Jackie. I just think, they played unbelievable in Game 3. I thought they were so satisfied with the split. They come out in Game 4 and leg and egg, and now Stammer got his first. Braden Point was starting to dance around and starting to look like Braden Point of old. I don't know. I thought the Leafs played so good in Game 3. Let them off the hook in Game 4. I think there's a lot of pressure on tonight.
And I'm going to keep it up north of the border. I think the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, it's the never-ending story of the 2 best players in hockey needing to get out of the first round and really, elevate their game come playoff time. They got to find a way to score goals on Jonathan Quick, who now became the most shutouts by American-born goalie and well-deserved. He's playing great. Got to find a way to put the puck in the net and win one at home here in Game 5.
Yeah, I agree with both of those. I think they're excellent choices. But I'll also throw in Carolina because this is a team that's been around it now for a couple of years, and they're thinking that maybe this is a year we're going to maybe make a much deeper run, even maybe win the Stanley Cup. They won the first 2 games at home relatively in easy fashion. It looked like things were going their way. They went to Boston, and the Bruins, to your point, they're missing some key guys on defense. Bruins win 2 in a row. If Carolina loses tonight at home in what's been a homer series so far, they could have to go up to Boston now with the idea of being eliminated in 6 games. So I think all the choices have been really good, but I'll throw Carolina in the mix as well because I'm sure they have I'm sure they feel they're going to be having a long run this year. Yeah. They lose tonight, they could be out in 6.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point. I mean, all good choices. All good choices. All right, boys, it's been fun. Or fellas, I guess. I don't want to offend you by calling you boys.
Don't go off brand.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, exactly. For the brand, right?
Right.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. And don't party too hard, all right? I saw the setup. That's a sweet setup, Uppy.
Well, thank you. At the house, we're going to go back there right now and catch all these 4 o'clock games here on the West Coast.
Oh, boy. That's so nice.
The old 4 o'clock start.
It's so nice. You're done by like 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's over.
It's not fair, really.
They're smart. They're smarter than we are.
That's it. That's great.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you.